and I'm coming to you a little bit earlier today because I forgot we had plans tonight. So if you can't catch this live, no worries. You can always catch this in the rebroadcast right here on my page. And as always, I upload everything that I do to YouTube so that you can conveniently catch me there as well. So if you're new, my name is Diane, and I have been helping women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them live their most authentic life and look and feel their best. And I've been doing this for about 25 years now. And most recently, I have started incorporating intermittent fasting into my own lifestyle to help me overcome some of the issues that I was having as I was kind of growing older and my body was changing, and some things were happening to my body that were not very typical of a woman who is very conscious about taking care of herself both nutritionally and physically. And so with intermittent fasting and some changes that I've made to my lifestyle, I've been able to reverse a pre-diabetic state that I was in, reverse my insulin resistance, and also get my thyroid back to a normal functioning level. So I am sharing all of the things and tips and tricks and some of the experiences that I've had here with you guys, so that if you are a woman like me who is just frustrated with the typical diet plans and they've just stopped working for you, I'm here to encourage you and let you know that there are some ways that you can make some changes in your lifestyle to get back to feeling the way you want to feel and have food work for you instead of against you. So today I am going to talk about the food that you choose to eat when you're in your fasting window, and if what you choose matters or not. And there is, kind of that old saying in the health and fitness industry, that you can't exercise away a bad diet. And it is true in the fasting world as well. You cannot fast away bad food choices. So we are all adults, we're grown-up women, we are looking to better our lives and to make sure that our bodies and our systems are functioning, well past our 50s. And so it really kind of is a time that I know for me personally, I have done some very extensive food research. I don't put anything in my mouth unless I know what's on it, in it, or what it's made of. And I've really honed in on some of the foods that just affect my body in a very negative way. You want to make sure that you are filling your body full of those nutrients that are going to help you sustain what you just created in your fasting window. And so you don't necessarily have to go on what would be considered a diet type of food plan, but you do want to make sure that you are aware of the ingredients that you're putting in your body. And I always say you want to go for quality over quantity at any opportunity that you can. And so one of the things that I will be teaching in my intermittent fasting group that starts in April is how to properly read a food label, where you should spend your time when you're reading a food label, and what are some of those things that are going to pop out to you that you should be aware of, and then how you can balance out your nutrients without necessarily becoming one of those super obsessed food people who's counting macros and counting calories and being sort of uncomfortable in food type social situations. And so it takes just a little bit of practice, but once you kind of hone in your go-to foods and you've kind of eliminated away the foods that don't make you feel your best because you've possibly, gained some sort of intolerance to a food. I know for me personally, these last couple of years, gluten is that thing that really has started to affect me, and that's a totally new thing. It's never affected me before. Dairy is one of those things that adversely affects me now, and I've always sort of had a dairy problem, but now I have to be really selective about the type of dairy that I incorporate into my life. It has to be very high quality dairy, and there's some that I can kind of sneak in, and then there's some that if I have them, they absolutely make me sick and throw kind of my hormones and system off the deep end. And the same thing goes for soy. And soy has been that thing for me that in any way, shape, or form, I just cannot consume it, whether it's edamame, whether it's tofu, which are all considered very healthy forms of soy. Those things totally throw my hormonal system off balance and sort of erase all the good that I have been doing for my body over a period of time. It can erase all of that in about one exposure to a soy type of ingredient. So make sure that if you are incorporating intermittent fasting into your lifestyle, that you are very food conscious and you are very aware of the ingredients that are in your food especially when you are making that decision to dine out. If you were to dine out with me, you know that I always ask the food servers, you know, what type of oil is used in their restaurant. I read descriptions in food very thoroughly before I place my order. I have no problem saying to leave this off, put this on the side, can you substitute this instead? And I oftentimes create my own menu item off of the menu. And generally just use a menu as sort of a guide for, you know, sparking my interest in something that I might want to eat, and I end up creating my own plate. You have a right to do that as a consumer. You have a right to do that as a woman. So definitely don't ever be afraid to speak up and ask for what you want when you're dining out. So in summary, yes, it does matter what you choose to eat. You should be choosing foods that will enhance your fasting state and keep your body as healthy as possible. Know what your food triggers are. There are no two women that are built the same. So copycatting someone else and the food plan that they are following may not be what you need at this point in your life. I know it's not what I can do in this point in my life, and that's really where diets started to send me downhill, as I was following what someone else was suggesting to do via their diet plan, and it just wasn't working for me in my system. So be wary of anyone who tells you that you have to exactly do something in order for it to work for you. That is not the case. That you have a right to design a food plan and a lifestyle that best suits your needs. And then I highly recommend just surrounding yourself with like-minded women, and women that will offer some accountability and support and will share their experiences openly with you so that you can learn from them and know that you're not alone. So choose wisely when you are in your eating window. As always, it's recommended with intermittent fasting that you try to choose a lower carb and higher fat type of diet, but I try to stay away from saying low carb, high fat specifically. Just be aware of what you're eating. Make sure that, you know, we all know as grown women what a carbohydrate is. We know the difference between good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates. So if you're feeling iffy about something, it's probably a bad thing, and just forego it and find a good substitution for it. I always post openly what I'm eating, and as a matter of fact, as soon as I jump off here, I'm going to show you my lower carb, higher fat pasta meal that I had this evening. My whole family ate pretty much the same. And it definitely keeps me in line with the goals that I have for following my intermittent fasting, keeping myself insulin resistant, keeping my thyroid on track, and keeping my pre-diabetic state away from me as I'm aging and passing through my 50s. I'm hoping to do that with grace and with some ease, and I will share that whole process with you guys here. So thanks so much for jumping on. If you caught me live tonight, I know it's a little bit earlier. If you didn't catch this live, as always, let me know you're here by leaving a comment below. There are a lot of women who are reaching out to me saying they're catching these videos and they're helping them a lot, and they have a bunch of questions. So that means if there's a lot of women who are reaching out, that means there's probably a lot more women who aren't. Definitely don't be afraid. You're not alone. I know it can seem frustrating, but we are in this together. And like I said, I will openly share what I'm going through. So definitely feel free to catch me here. And like I said, you can catch me on YouTube as well. So any questions, post them here and I will get back to them later tonight or tomorrow. As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for staying tuned. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for reaching out to me. And I will see you guys sometime, somewhere tomorrow. Have a good night.